When we think about a job's value, our minds usually jump straight to one thing, the salary. But in the world we live in today, is that really the whole story? Not even close. In this explainer, we're going to look way beyond the paycheck to understand how modern organizations are completely rethinking what it means to reward their people and figure out their true worth.
So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get past that old school view of compensation. Then, we'll dive right into something called the total rewards framework. After that, we'll look at how companies actually evaluate performance, peek into the future of rewarding, and then we'll tie it all together by talking about how to build a really powerful value proposition.
All right, let's jump into our first section, beyond the paycheck. For decades, maybe even forever, the conversation around what you get paid has been stuck in a pretty narrow box. Well, today, we're going to break out of it. And that brings us to the big question, the one that modern business leaders are really wrestling with. It's not just about the task someone can do anymore. It's about the total value they bring to the table and, just as importantly, how the organization shows that it values them in return. And listen, this isn't just some academic discussion. Get this, a staggering 75% of organizations expect this whole compensation thing to get way more complex and challenging, and soon. So this is a real urgent issue that companies have to figure out, like right now. What I love about this slide is how clearly it shows the evolution of HR itself. On the left, you've got the old way, right? Personnel administration. Think endless paperwork, running payroll, tracking vacation days. But look to the right. That's the new way, strategic human resource management. Now HR is a critical partner, actually helping to drive the entire organization's performance. It's a huge shift. So, if the old way is officially outdated, what's the new model? That brings us to Section 2, and this idea of the total rewards framework. This is all about blowing up our old definition of compensation.
So here's the core idea. The total rewards framework says that compensation isn't just about the money. It's a much more holistic approach. It includes all the relational and psychological benefits that people get from their work. The stuff that actually makes them feel valued, motivated, and engaged.
So what does that actually look like? This slide breaks it down perfectly. Of course, you've got the basics, like salary and performance pay. But it also includes things like real opportunities to grow and learn, getting recognized for your work, being part of a positive culture, and even having a sense of job security, autonomy, and meaningful work.
And when you put all those pieces together, you get what's called the Employee Value Proposition, or EVP. You can think of it as the unique deal between a company and its employees. It's the grand total of everything the organization offers in exchange for an individual's skills and effort.
And this is really happening out there. Big companies are putting this into practice. Take KPMG US, for instance. They completely redesigned their rewards package to focus on total well-being. We're talking mental, physical, social, and financial health, adding amazing benefits like caregiver leave and healthcare support.
Okay, so we get what total rewards are. But how do companies decide who gets what? That's what we're diving into in Section 3, Evaluating to Reward. We're going to look at the systems behind these really important decisions. Just like the role of HR, performance management has completely changed. We're finally moving away from that dreaded top-down annual review. The modern way is all about continuous, natural conversations and what's called 360-degree feedback, where you get input from your peers, your manager, and even the people who report to you.
And believe me, the stakes for getting this evaluation stuff right are incredibly high. The source material points out that one single bad hire can sink productivity by as much as 36%. That is a massive hit. It shows that a fair and effective evaluation process isn't just a nice-to-have, it's an absolute strategic necessity.
So how do they actually do this? Well, organizations use a few different methods to figure out the value of various roles. You've got simple ranking, where experts just rank jobs by importance. There's classification, which sorts jobs into preset buckets. A more complex way is the point system, where jobs get points for things like problem solving. And then there's the personal method, which is really interesting because it focuses on the individual's unique skills, not just their job title.
All right, we've covered the what and the how of rewards, but now let's talk about why it's all changing so incredibly fast. Section 4 is all about the future of rewarding and how these ideas are adapting to the huge shifts in the workforce today.
This timeline really puts the whole journey into perspective. You can see how HR went from being a back-office admin function in the 70s to a strategic partner in the 2000s. And today, the sources call HR's key role a change champion. They're the ones leading digital transformation and making the whole organization more resilient. And the need for this change is just accelerating like crazy. This quote is a serious wake-up call. Somewhere between 80 to 85% of today's job roles could just vanish, with brand new ones popping up to take their place. That completely changes the game for what skills organizations need to reward.
And that means the very definition of success for HR leaders has shifted. The new key performance indicators, or KPIs, aren't just about efficiency anymore. As you can see, they're now focused on these absolutely critical areas like employee well-being, diversity and inclusion, and building up the organization's resilience for whatever comes next.
And this chart really tells you why well-being has shot to the top of the priority list. When 76% of employees are feeling burned out and 81% are actively looking for employers who care about their well-being, it's pretty clear this is no longer just a nice-to-have perk. It is a core business imperative.
Okay, wow, we have covered a ton of ground. So how do we pull all these big ideas together into something practical? Let's wrap it all up with our final section, building your value proposition.
The sources lay out a simple but really powerful three-part plan. It all starts with strategy. You have to make sure your whole rewards philosophy actually supports your main business goals. Then you need clear policies that act as the guardrails. And finally, you bring it all to life with fair and transparent practices.
And at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is to build this seamless, integrated system. It's a place where your total rewards, your evaluation process, and your future-focused goals all work together in harmony. That's the secret sauce for attracting, keeping, and motivating the amazing talent you need to win.
This quote from Fortune magazine just perfectly captures the huge transformation we've been talking about. The image of HR has gone from a bunch of drones to strategic executives who are just as focused on the bottom line as the CEO. It just hammers home how critical it is to get rewards and evaluation right.
So that leaves us with one last big question to think about. When you look at your own organization, is its reward system just another expense on a spreadsheet? Or is it a powerful strategic tool that is actively building the resilient, skilled, and motivated workforce you absolutely need for tomorrow?